We want to thank our amazing sponsor, the Rope Drop Queen herself, Michelle McKnight. She is a destination specialist with touring plans and can help you plan an amazing vacation. Whether it's Disney, Universal, a cruise, or an all-inclusive, she can help you with booking, planning, and strategizing to help you have an incredible experience at a great rate. Contact her today at michelle@touringplans.com. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney. And Doug, we got a really great show today. Really looking forward to it, but we have a lot of news we got to cover. It's been a big day as we record.
We do. There's news. We'll get to it.
We will.
Get there. But first, patrons, thank you.
Yes, thank you. No new Patrons this week, but we do have a longtime Patreon that we need to give a shout out to, and that's Patrick Urell. He's been with us since almost the beginning, so thank you so much, Patrick, for always supporting the show and just getting all that free content and swag and all the other great things.
Yes, thank you very much to all our longtime patrons, and looking forward to all the new ones we shall get, because hopefully we'll have some really good content for you over the next month.
We got a lot of trips and a lot of good things coming up.
And that ties into the news. But first, no new podcast reviews.
What?
So I know. It's
what are we going to do?
So instead, I'm going to give away a 50th poster.
Ooh, a 50th poster.
So the posters that were handed out exclusively on October 1st at the Magic Kingdom, when you left, I have one I'm going to give to a lucky listener, and probably a map. I'll slip that in there too. So here's how you're going to get it. You're going to take our tweet or our Facebook post on Thursday night, and you're going to retweet it, quote retweet it preferably, say how much you love the show, and then go leave a podcast review. Anyway, you're going to retweet it. We'll see that if you do it on Twitter. If you're doing it on the Facebook, you're going to have to message us and let us know, because we cannot see who shares it. But you're going to share it, tell all your friends about the show with the Thursday night post. Instagram, we'll put a post on there, put it on your story. Message us to let us know, just in case we're clueless and we miss it. 'Cause sometimes we see those, sometimes we don't. I don't understand Instagram because I'm over 40.
That happens.
That's why Derek's more in charge of that. He's under 40, so he still gets...
Barely, but I'm there.
You're a millennial, so you're allowed on Instagram.
Zennial.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a Gen X. I'm not a millennial. I'm that special little
in between. I'm a latchkey kid.
Yeah. So true. Oh, could you imagine that these days? Like,
no, we're
map.
Coming up on a Halloween, and I was thinking to myself, man, my parents let me go trick-or-treating by myself at a really young age. And it's like, hey, good luck. And they went to some adult party or whatever, and I was out with my friends. I'd fill pillowcases full of candy, and it just blows my mind, because the stuff we did, I would not let my kids go out all night.
There was no cell phones to be like,
no,
whose house are you at? Where are you? Or track you through an app. It was My
daughter really wants to go by herself with her friends this year, and it's we're trying to find one of the dads to secretly be about a house away, creepily following them.
Did you say, sorry, Olivia, it's not 1989?
I should have. She did say, Dad, you were born in the 1800s. She did say that the other day, and I died a little bit.
Kids these days.
Yeah, so she's grounded. Anyway, she is going to Disney in a few weeks with us. It's going to be great because a new thing just came out literally today, Doug, and you're going to be trying it out as well.
One other thing about the giveaway. I'm not going to say on Twitter and Facebook, share this or retweet this to be entered.
Oh.
All right? This is just for you guys.
The listeners.
That listen.
Okay.
The loyal listeners downloading random middle of October podcast. It's just for you guys because we love you. Okay. So not just the people that follow us on social media. You got to listen. So when you retweet it, don't say to win something, because then you're lowering your chances to get that sweet, sweet 50th anniversary poster. Okay. Sorry. On to the show.
Okay. Disney Genie came out today.
Oh, the news.
The news. And the news is brought to you by Kingdom Strollers. So if you guys are looking to go to the parks like we are and you need a stroller, we have a link just for you to get you a great deal on a Kingdom stroller. Also helps out the show. 1, 2, whatever you need for how many days they drop it off, do all the things. We love them. We use them every time. So Kingdom strollers, we have a link on our website, but if you can't find it, message us and we'll send you it directly.
Here you go. Derek definitely uses them.
Every time. For myself.
Super easy, convenient,
Yep.
Clean, efficient. Hopefully you don't find any hands.
No. That is
right.
an old show. Someone remembered
That's an old
one.
reference right there. All right, on to the news. Disney Genie launched today as we record this on Tuesday, October 19th. Derek, how would you say the launch went from a distance? You were following it closely on Twitter,
I was following it, especially at the beginning of the day. It was definitely, it was fun. Here's who were there today at the parks. Every blogger, vlogger, zogger, anything that has to do with Disney, podcasting, whatever. Those were the ones that were there today trying it out.
Yeah, so I don't think you can judge everything off day one. I also think that Disney management kind of rushed like the IT side of it, like, nope, we got to have it go today.
Yep.
We're making money today. So essentially, I feel like they're beta testing with the paying public. So if you're there in the next couple weeks,
it could be a lot different than it was today.
Yeah, things are going to change. They're going to tweak. There's loopholes that people found that I'm sure are already closing.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't even want to talk about them. It did amaze me, some of the things people were able to get away with today, with being able to kind of bank them or back to back all the lanes. And
so we'll see what happens going forward. We're not in a hurry to.
The only thing I really notice, and my concern for all this, is Disney really boosting those wait times to make that money spending grab a little bit easier.
Right. And then like when you're looking at them, it tells you whether the wait is high or low, and it gives this little chart, but it doesn't tell you how long it is in the little chart. So like it said Flight of Passage was low, even though it was like an hour, where something else wait was high. Yes, for that attraction, it was high, but it was actually like 10 minutes. So the frame of reference is a little skewed, where I'm going to be honest, Touring Plans has an app that will give you an optimized schedule, right? And then you use that to figure out what you want to do and look at where the wait times are on Touring Plans app, and then decide whether you want to purchase.
I actually did that today. I got on their app and compared it to Disney, just for fun, Doug, to prepare myself for the next month when I go down there.
Also, be ready for tax. When they said $15,
yeah, it's not exactly $15. That actually kind of annoyed me a bit.
I just kind of, for some reason, I just didn't think about that.
No.
But I understand it is taxed, right? But I just figured Disney was putting that in the price, so it could be a nice even 15 rather than what, $15.98.
So that
is
means
it more expensive in the Animal Kingdom?
Every attraction gets a little tax added onto it. $7 to cut in line. It's really $7.50.
And it was weird downloading the update because you get the little notification thing or warning that like there's in-app purchases now.
Yep.
Right? Like
four plus, by the way, Doug.
4+.
Yep.
I noticed that last night at like midnight when people were chatting about it. I'm like, oh, so my Disney experience is rated for 4-year-olds. Like most adults can't figure out the app, but sure, maybe a 4-year-old.
Maybe.
I don't know. It is what it is. We're gonna have to use it going forward.
Yep.
If you want, I'm not saying you necessarily have to buy the individual paid access lane, but for Lightning Lane, it's gonna be almost a necessity of your trip, unless you want to stand in line a lot, right?
Yeah, we'll see. I know we're gonna dive more into this as it continues to roll out. I know, Doug, you're heading down in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the main purpose of the trip basically is to use Lightning Lane, experience it firsthand. The weekend of the 5th, we're going to fly down on the 5th, 6th, 7th.
I fly there on the 8th. Okay, so we'll high five in the air. Got it.
Yeah, we're flying PCA and OMA, but we're literally going just to experience the app, how it's working in the park, what we can do, what we can't do, what loopholes are there for real. Because if there's a loophole they care about closing, there's smart guys working on this. They'll get it figured out.
They are.
Guys and girls.
Yep.
They're both. But
We'll
Yeah,
talk more about it at. I know a lot of listeners asked us about it today, and so that's when we'll talk more about it for sure after Doug experiences all of its grand
right.
joy, fun, maybe.
And
We'll
then you'll get
see.
to try it out.
I
Are you
know.
planning on getting it for your 2 days? You're at Disney 2 days,
No,
right?
4 days.
4 days. Oh, so you getting it for your length of stay,
I don't
or
know yet. Actually, I'm kind of. That's why I was on today trying to figure out the best strategy for how much I want to spend and
Mhm.
what I want to do with it.
I will say, your travel agent can add it to your package.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're using a travel agent, they would love to add it to your package for you rather than you just buying it independently, because it would help support your travel agent if you do that. Because if you're going to buy it anyway,
Yeah.
might as well do it before you
I will
go.
probably get it
One
at
less thing
least
to do.
one day for
See, I wasn't
sure.
sure if you do it every day. We'll see how it goes. It
Yeah,
might be.
that's kind of the thing. This is one of those situations where Derek is waiting and going to see because like you said, a lot of changes are going to happen from today being the opening day to when I go in a month. And so we will see kind of what happens and we'll make a decision probably while you're at the parks, Doug. Not going to lie.
Oh, and the travel agents, it can't be added to a non-ticketed package. So it has to be a ticketed package
Nope, then I'm out.
to add it for length of stay. So annual passes make
Stupid
it even
annual
weirder.
pass. Wait, no, I like my annual pass.
Yes, so annual passes make it weird.
So let's talk about the other news. We could probably talk about this for a while, but we got a show we got to get to, Doug. Disney Cruise Line announced some new dates.
Yes, Disney Cruise is out for early 2023. So get your sunscreen ready for 2023 and head to Castaway. Basically, lots of great sailings, very similar itineraries, what you'd expect. Lots of Caribbean, lots of Castaway. The Wish, if you didn't get on the Wish, then it's very first run.
It's a good
Now's your
time to book.
chance.
Yeah.
That winter months escape the cold. Also, New Orleans sailings are back,
Ooh,
which are
must be
pretty
nice.
cool. I would love to
I've
do
done
that,
that.
but it's
I've actually
horrible time of year for
sailed out
me.
of New Orleans before.
A while ago,
A
huh?
long when I was a kid. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then there is a cruise from Port Canaveral to Bermuda. That's kind of an interesting one. And I will tell you, Bermuda is an interesting place to go. It's unlike a lot of the other cruise ports. Very clean, very nice. Pink beaches you don't
Yeah.
see anywhere else. It's weird.
Maybe
Very weird.
worth checking out. I plan on being a Lonnie spring of 2023. Hopefully, play the cards right.
No pink beach, though.
No,
Just saying.
no,
Just
true. And we'll do both. We'll see how the show goes.
That's
But that is all the news that we have. But thank you guys so much for messaging us and wanting to hear more about Disney Genie. We'll get more to you later. But Doug, we have a show. What are we talking about today?
Well, we're talking about what you should be doing when you don't want to stand in line. The anytime attractions. And are there any anytime attractions left at Walt Disney World, Derek?
Honestly, who knows at this point? I believe there
We're
are.
gonna debate it.
I mean,
It's
we are
gonna
going to
be.
talk about it, but yeah, who
We're
knows?
gonna go.
Lightning
Yeah,
Lane could be a game changer for some of my anytime attractions.
right. And we'll debate it as we go park by park, giving our favorite anytime attractions. So Derek, do you want to start off with one at Animal Kingdom?
I
We'll
guess
go in our
we'll
usual
start.
park
So
order.
this is really great. When I look at this, it's when you hop to the park, maybe the end of the day type of thing,
okay.
not just road. That's kind of how I viewed it. So
Well, you definitely aren't doing these at rope drop.
No. So like I viewed it as with Animal Kingdom, I've done Animal Kingdom when we've flown in. We've done that late or hopped over from when we stayed at like Animal Kingdom, one of the Kidani. So the one over there that I have that you got to do is Pandora at night. I thought I want to go something unique, something different. It's not a ride, it's not an attraction. I wanted to make sure that got in.
Just going to experience the
Experience
atmosphere.
Pandora at night. So if
Well,
you
there's
get there,
definitely not a line.
there's no line, and it's something that I feel like gets overshadowed and missed quite a bit. You got to experience it. It's phenomenal. Not as great as it was when you and I went opening week because it was completely dark.
Like pitch black.
But it's something that's still phenomenal that I highly recommend every Disney person do. And if you get that time, because so many people leave Animal Kingdom before the night has fallen.
True.
So if you're there and it's dusk, run over to Pandora and check it out as the darkness sets in.
And these anytime type of attractions are great while you're waiting for your Lightning Lane pass time to come around.
There you go.
So that's kind of, this is the filler sort of stuff. That's a great example. I didn't think about that. I mean, it's not listed as an attraction, but
No.
they have the drums in there. You can
Yep.
go. Well, maybe the drums are there. I don't know if they're back yet, but there's a lot of neat things hidden around there. Look at the waterfall, get some pictures. Very cool. Good idea. So I went with Tough to Be a Bug.
Oh.
The queue is longer than a line that you'll wait in. You walk a quarter mile getting in there, but you usually only wait one show, that the current show that's going. You get in there, you get your glasses. You don't have to wait long. Just because you have to wait for the show before you to finish, I'm going to say that's good. You don't have to wait multiple shows in line, so I think it counts. Am I wrong, Derek? Are you going to veto this
Nope,
one as at any time?
I agree with it, unless you're doing it. If you're doing it from about 10 a.m. to noon, it's definitely got a line. But yeah,
right. And that's kind of, there's weird caveats with a lot of these. I think when we look at Christmas and New Year's, there are no anytime attractions.
That's
so any
correct.
of these that we say, if you're there on New Year's Eve, this show is useless. Sorry.
Yep.
We have recorded nothing for you. But other times of the year, these are good ways to escape the crowd. And I think Bug's Life is a good one. You don't usually have to worry about waiting more than one show. Worst case scenario, you just walk in as the doors close, right? Then you got to do a whole cycle. So there's my first one.
Okay.
Tough to Be a Bug. You have another one, Animal Kingdom?
I have one other
think you
one.
do.
I do have one that I wanted to mention. Kilimanjaro Safari, Kilimanjaro Kali River Rapids.
Kali River Rapids.
First try
Wrong
there.
continent.
Wow. Kali River Rapids is definitely a walk-on most of the day, but definitely if you are wanting to get wet at the end of the day before you go back to the hotel, just to experience that attraction, that is one that you can do, and it is a walk-on, probably noon on. And so, especially if you're trying to get it about 3-4 o'clock in the evening and it's kind of heat and it's going to dry off anyway, that's a good time to do it.
And one caveat with that attraction is the hotter it is, the longer the line is.
That's true.
That's a given. So if it's peak summer, check the wait before you consider it any time. But towards the end of the day, definitely.
Yeah. At the end of the day, there's never. In fact, I kind of like Animal Kingdom at the end of the day. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite parks because everyone's left. It's empty.
Especially if you have a lightning lane for a Flight of Passage.
There you go.
And Everest. So yeah, that's a good one. I have one other one.
Okay.
For Animal Kingdom, and that's Triceratops Spin.
Really?
Sometimes there's a little line.
There's always a little line, annoyingly, for that one.
When have we ever waited in line there?
I've ridden it with Callum so many times that I've just kind of gotten used to at least a 10-minute line.
I've never waited.
Okay.
So maybe it's, a certain time of day probably, but I guess.
Usually when you and I do it, it's like, hey, we're really early in the rope drop.
Pandora, we did.
We literally ran
Safari,
from like 4 attractions and yeah.
Yeah, it's like our last attraction. Then we're like, oh, we're done with the park.
Usually, here's what happens, Doug. I can hit it perfectly why there's a line. We go and get the green buckets at Restaurantosaurus, and then there's always a line afterwards. So yeah, it makes sense why I always get plagued with that one.
I'm usually never on that side of the park.
Also, did you see the construction happening in that area of the park this week?
Yeah, what do you think we'll get, Derek? Something. We better get something.
Anything. I just don't want it to be blank. But yeah, they really...
I don't want another 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea scenario here. I want something
Primeval
as soon as the
gone.
ground is clear.
I mean, it will be gone by the time you get there. It's gone probably tomorrow.
Would fit right there.
Indiana Jones.
The Indiana Jones coaster that's in Paris.
Yes.
It looks like a kit coaster off a shelf somewhere, and not a huge footprint. It doubles over on itself a whole lot. A lot of twists and turns. I think they have room on the other side of the fence there. I think an Indiana Jones coaster makes sense. He's a archaeologist, paleontologist, close enough.
Close enough for Disney standards.
We'll pretend he's not studying humans; he's studying animals. But I think that would work.
I think so.
That
movie
would not
coming
be
out
at any time.
No,
totally makes sense, right? They gotta announce something, and I don't think that's where you announce Zootopia. Zootopia deserves its own
rainforest,
land.
or not? Rafiki's
all
planet.
the neighborhoods. Yeah, Rafiki's would go away and Zootopia would take its place, but I don't see that getting announced.
All right. Anything else for Animal Kingdom?
Honestly, Rafiki's, Planet Watch. I thought you'd say that train ride.
Yeah, except I've always waited in line there.
Oh, well, I haven't done it for a decade,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
All
also
right.
the problem with that one is because they're so social distancing it that it kind of has a little bit of line. So
Shall we move over to the studios?
it makes it easier. Animal Kingdom was more of a challenge.
Yeah. Hollywood Studios, I feel like there's not as much anytime things.
Oh, I
as
got
the
one.
parks.
And
Well,
it's
I got
news.
This might be the same one. Go
Indiana
ahead.
Jones is coming back. Finally.
That
Oh, I've
theater's
been waiting.
huge.
It is. It's massive. I don't know why. I mean, this is one through COVID. You could have had 6 feet plus and still. But in fact, I don't know if I've ever sat in that theater next to someone. So
I've done it over the holidays, and we had a fast pass. That's the one time I was like, thank goodness we have a fast pass for a show, because there was actually a line. But like I said, the caveat to this whole show is Christmas and New Year's. Just turn the podcast. Well, don't turn the podcast off. Continue listening, but it's useless information.
yeah,
But
Indiana Jones,
Indy's great.
massive theater. It's coming back.
That was my
Excited.
first stop.
I will be there. I'm gonna make sure I not rope drop it, but get to one of the shows.
When does it open, Derek?
Oh, it
November?
might be. It might be
I think it's
after
right
I
after
go.
you leave.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
They
you
said.
just missed it.
Yeah, never mind. I'm out. I'm not going anymore.
Just cancel the trip. Trip ruined.
Nope. Now I'm gonna have to make another trip just to see that show.
That's right.
You and
Yeah.
I. There we go.
Well, we have our trip in
We
April.
do. That's gonna be a big one.
If you haven't seen it by April, then maybe we'll do it
Sounds good.
with our half a day in the park prior to going into space. Anywho, other any times, the launch base stuff would be anytime, but I don't know if I care enough to without character meets over there, which the character meets aren't anytime, other than the Visa meet that doesn't exist anymore.
They need to bring that back soon.
So they're bringing back character meets, but there's no hugging, there's no autograph books. Call me a grumpy old man, but I'd be okay if we never see an autograph book in the parks again.
Oh, I agree with that. And I have kids who
makes
love
so much
autograph
faster.
books. It's just
So much faster. Bring back the hugs eventually, but no more autographs. So if they don't bring back the Visa meet, that would be devastating, I think. Because why do we have it? That's really the best perk.
I
of
still
the
have
card,
a Visa card for that reason.
right? And the Visa meet at Hollywood Studios is an anytime thing.
Yep.
As long as it's running. You have to make sure it's running. And same thing with Indiana Jones. You got to check the show schedule. But you walk in and get a seat. It's great. So there's the Mickey and Minnie movie, the vacation short. I believe I've never seen a line for that.
Nope, never seen
But
one.
I don't
I've
know
also never
how
done it.
excited I'd be to go. I mean,
I will say the one that I actually wrote down is, especially if you're going really late towards the end, Star Tours is a walk-on.
yep.
And that one is great to finish a trip out. I've done that many times where you're just exiting the park. You're like, yeah, I'm going to do Star Tours one more time. Hopefully get a different show.
But at 11 a.m.?
No, that's
Not
my
a walk.
caveat for this was like the end of the night, the last things you do. You're going to walk on.
Yeah. And you could do it multiple times
Yep.
in that last hour if you really want to. So that's a good one. It's just the other shows. I think Beauty and the Beast, similar to Indiana Jones, you're not going to stand in line waiting.
That
to
show
get
is
in.
cracking me up right now with the 6 feet separation between Belle and the Beast. He's a masked character. He's in a suit, and they obviously both have vaccinations. Can we not have them touch? It's really making it awkward.
It's weird. It's weird where they're employing certain rules and not. It has to do with a contract, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they forged the contract way long ago. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Let's move on.
Okay.
Epcot. Shall we?
Epcot.
Get on the Skyliner, head on over. What's the first thing you're just walking into at Epcot?
Especially if it's late in the day and I got to get it done, it's Voices of Liberty. I will beeline from International Gateway over to the American Pavilion. I love that they meet outside. I hope that never changes.
I love that they use that theater, yeah.
And I will grab a drink from one of the booths and I will sit and watch Voices of Liberty. And I love it every time and I make it a priority. I don't know the last trip I've gone and not seen Voices of Liberty.
Yeah. Heads up, their last show is usually around 5.
Yep.
So we were planning on catching them at 5-ish or 4:30 the other day. But on the weekend, when they have the cover bands for the Food and Wine Festival, they stopped early.
Oh, no.
So we did not see them because we didn't look at the schedule. We just thought we knew the schedule. We assumed things.
Ooh, you know what happens when you assume things, Doug?
You're wrong. You're wrong. That's what happened. Yeah, I was wrong. So, we did miss it. So check the schedule. But Voices of Liberty was top on my list at Epcot, especially now that they're outside in the American Gardens Theater. When they're inside, yeah, plenty of room. But if you wanted the right seat under the rotunda, you needed to get in there early and sit. So way cooler in the rotunda. Not going to argue that. I love it in the rotunda, but from a pure crowd handling, comfort, boy, the outside in the shade on one of those benches,
Love it.
drink in hand.
Absolutely.
You
Toddler
can eat
sitting
in there
by me.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much more comfortable. And then if you want to, you sit for a few minutes and then
Mariachi band.
mariachi band starts. So, and I always want to call him Cobra Kai, and I know that is not right at all.
No,
So
that's
everybody
not at
can
all.
yell at me right now.
Yes, please do.
So there you go. That's a great one, Derek. My next one is Spaceship Earth.
Oh, especially late at night?
Yes. Evening, afternoon, you walk on at that time of day. During the morning, mid-morning, no. So this one has a caveat. But there's something about going in Spaceship Earth, the icon of the park, that you need to do. And especially if it's your first time or you have somebody with you that's their first time, I think it's real important. And it's one you can do late at night and not have a crowd, not have a worry or a care. Spaceship Earth.
I agree. I think we have finished off the park with Spaceship Earth on many, many trips.
Yeah, it is a good way.
It is a great way. Judi Dench, she is a legend.
She's the dame. Do you have any others?
I was going to say late at night, finishing up, especially if you're walking around the lagoon, you got Three Caballeros in the Mexico Pavilion. That's one that never has a wait there late at night, right before fireworks. And so I've done that a lot, and I love it. And it's a good way to finish out the park.
Yeah, that's a bad mid-afternoon.
Oh, terrible one.
As the
yes, this
crowds
is one
come
where
into World Showcase.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8 o'clock dinner time. Great.
Right at 11 to 1, probably fine, but 1 to 3-ish. Oof, watch out. That's when the crowds are in Mexico. Yeah, that's a good one. The other one I have is Nemo.
I knew you were going to say that. I wrote it down and then crossed it off.
Because you can.
That's never not a walk-on.
You can, if there's a line. This is one where I'm going to break the rule. Here you go, New Year's people. Here's a tip. There's going to be a line for Nemo, which is scary. Do not get in it. You can go in the back way right into the aquarium. Guess the aquarium is self-regulating as people get off the Nemo ride. They spend the same amount of time, whether it's New Year's or 4th of July or average Tuesday in September, looking at fish, and then they leave. So it doesn't get crazy crowd in there unless it's pouring down rain. So as long as it's not raining, it's not too bad. But you can come in through the gift shop. So as you're walking towards the Seas Pavilion, the attraction entrance is right in the middle. Coral Reef is to the right around the corner. To the left is what's the exit to the whole pavilion. You can go in those doors and just go to the aquarium. And even Turtle Talk with Crush if you time it just right, if there's not a wait there. But you don't have to go on the ride if you don't want to get a song stuck in your head. You just skip the ride and go look at dolphins and manatees.
I like it.
Yeah. There's your pearl of wisdom for the day. Go to the left and sneak right in.
Okay.
Do you know what Kent's favorite anytime ride is?
Figment.
That's right.
But it's not any time. You have that
it's not always.
weird couple hours where it gets really busy right before lunch. I feel like there's a pre-lunch rush.
Yeah. Living with the Land is another one that sometimes has a pretty good line, and then other times you walk right on.
Yep.
And it's hard to predict. I've seen it all different times.
I feel like people get off Soarin', so it's got that weird post rope drop that people who get off Soarin' will run over there.
Yeah, and then it fills back up after lunch because so many people come and get sunshine seasons. But it's a good anytime most of the time.
I was going to say, if you're at Epcot anytime, I'm just exploring the World Showcase, trying to find some of the nooks and crannies, going in the shops. There's so many shops that I've realized over the years I have never completely explored. And that's something that I love to do.
Like
and
the Japan Pavilion is a shop.
yeah,
Like it's insane.
it's massive.
And the lot of entertainment coming back now. A lot of entertainment just got announced. The drummers in Japan are back, which is just kind of brings World Showcase to life. Just hearing that. You have the juggler dude coming back to Italy.
Italy, I love that guy.
The band is coming back to Canada, so we won't have the Jammers performing in Canada.
Which I will miss that. I did like those guys.
I wish they had a more permanent location somewhere between well, it's not Future World Celebration and the World Showcase. Or World Celebration? Future Celebration? I can't remember all the neighborhoods, Derek.
I can't.
I'm gonna get fired. Don't fire me.
No.
Yeah, I wish they had like a stage. But yeah, lots of great entertainment. You don't even need to go into anything at Epcot to have a no-wait attraction.
That's true. That's the best part of Epcot. Just kind of going around the world and enjoying the sights and sound.
The atmosphere
is
entertaining. I know lots of people love the model train in Germany.
I do. I do enjoy that.
I enjoy watching people enjoy it.
There you go.
Because some people get way too excited about a model train. It was just simply put there to fill the space at first.
It was only supposed to be there for like a year, and we're on year 20 with it.
Yeah, there it is. Well, is it Magic Kingdom time?
Magic Kingdom. What are we doing coming in late in the park?
There's crowds. We need to avoid them.
Yep.
I think the most obvious place to go without a wait is Hall of Presidents.
Oh, I didn't even put that on my list.
So you get solid air conditioning
once every 4 years.
Yep. Huge pre-show area where there are some benches. If you're there early enough before right after that showing goes in, you can get a bench even, sit in the air conditioning. And the theater's huge. It's massive. It just reopened, so it's all updated and shiny and new. It's a great story about America. It's not so much about the current president. Like it used to be a lot more about the current president. Yep. It's not really. They just kind of say the oath of office.
Yep.
Every president says that. So, it's kind of, they talk about Gettysburg, that sort of stuff. It's great. And you, like other shows, like Tough to Be a Bug, I mentioned you wait through the previous show and then you go in, and that's kind of how shows work. But that was my first thought, was Hall of Presidents and darn good air conditioning.
That is true. I will agree with you on the air conditioning. I'm going across the park to my favorite thing to do at night, and I feel like there's very little wait at nights because everyone gets it done earlier in the day, and that's the People Mover, which is one of the best attractions to do at night, especially at dusk. I feel like dusk is the perfect time as the lights start to come on, and that's virtually always a walk-on there at the end of the night because people are trying to get some last e-tickets in, and that's one that we consistently do when it's operating every time at that time.
I mean, you'd think it would operate all the time. It's powered by magnets. Yeah. It's not real complicated. The caveat there is your timing, because on our rope drop trip in June, that was the longest line we waited on.
But that was earlier in the day.
Trip. Yep. It was earlier in the day, and
5 o'clock on. It's empty. It's great.
It's not a bad one. People Mover with the caveat of what time.
Yep.
I'm going to say something I haven't done for a while, and I don't even know if you can get cards, but so there's 2 different interactive games. There's Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, and then there's the pirate one over in Adventureland, the name is escaping me. I know that's coming back. It just reopened.
Sorcerers is not coming back.
No, but the pirate one is. It was just in the news. You don't have to wait to do that. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt around Adventureland. I've done it before. My kids got bored, but my kids are weird and whiny, but a lot of kids would love it. And it's kind of at your own pace. You can mix it in and, before an attraction, after an attraction, spread it out throughout the day. There's no time limit. So it's a good filler while you're waiting for that lightning lane for pirates or lightning lane for Jungle Cruise, if you can snag one, because Jungle Cruise is a chaotic mess now. Like, they had to put out a movie
Yep.
and make the line long.
Made it popular.
Way to go, Dwayne.
The Rock.
Anyway, yeah, the little the pirate adventure game.
That's a good one. Didn't even think about that.
So look at that. We're on 2 different pages in the Magic Kingdom.
Well,
that's good.
I'm staying over on my side of the park, and I'm going to say Carousel of Progress, because I don't think I've ever seen a line ever for that one. And
there was one time I saw a line, and I honestly wondered why.
Yeah.
So I had to go find out. It broke, and then just people were standing outside of it.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
Last time I was on there, I think we were the only ones in the theater.
Yeah, probably. Have we ever even seen that
together? No, you and I have not. And so. I'm good. Yeah. I do it once every 10 years, and so I'm still milking, about 3 years ago, so I'm good for a little bit.
Well, you've seen enough laser discs?
Yeah, the future part of that is really bad and makes me kind of gag. So, yeah, I'm good. But there's never a line if you want to do it. And some people, it's their favorite attraction. Someone's yelling at me right now. So great, good for you. There's never a wait, so go do it.
It is an anytime attraction. Even if it's your favorite one, that's okay. It's still anytime, no matter how much you love it. But boy, do they need to change that last scene.
They need to update that one bad.
You know what they'd have if they changed the last scene? A line.
Touché. They would.
Right? People would go there. Crazy. Invest money in something and people will respond. Oh, so there's really nothing else I had.
I have one more.
Birds.
Oh, Tiki Birds. That's a great one.
Tiki Birds, I've waited in line there before, not really realizing I was in a line. So I'm hesitant to say Tiki Birds, but I think for the most part it is going to be any time. I think it's safe.
Okay.
And you're allowed to eat Dole Whip in. It's like the only attraction you're allowed to take food in.
Fascinating.
The only one. And it's just Dole Whip. None of this Orange Bird nonsense. Just the good stuff. The Dole Whip. And hopefully it's just pineapple Dole Whip and not other nonsense like raspberry and mango. And
the one that tastes like sunscreen. That's the one
that
bugs
stuff
me.
Walt doesn't want.
Yeah. So I have one more, Doug. And I had to put it in there. It's going to have a line now because of the new Coco scene. But Philhar Magic. Wow. I have done that so many times. No line. Walk on into the theater. The theater's pretty big.
Yep. You wait the one show before you.
Yep. I've never had to wait. And so I'm throwing that in there, even though it does have a new little scene. That is the perfect 3 o'clock rain, perfect late evening show. We've done it. We've actually done it multiple times at the end of the night because it's just like, let's just sit and do one more thing and get out of the park.
Does get you off your feet, and it's any time more or less. You wait the one show before. If you see a line there, I'd run. But I mean, when other than maybe Easter, Christmas, New Year's, are you seeing a line at that? Unless you go at the absolute wrong time, or like Mine Train goes down and Peter Pan goes down, and
they're all beelining.
People are struggling to figure out what to do. So it would take some sort of thing like that.
The worst line is right now, the Emporium.
I was gonna say guest relations.
That too. Wow, both those lines have been ridiculous. I keep seeing posts on social media and it cracks me up.
The Emporium, it's like all the 50th stuff is just right in the center, one little room.
Yep.
Like, why not just spread it out?
That just doesn't make sense to me.
And so there's like chaos.
But all the other rooms are empty.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer. It's like a scavenger hunt in the Emporium. Oh, that's genius.
Right. And if you're there for 50th stuff, you get your stuff, you take it to a different cash register far away.
Yeah.
But you don't need to pay for it in the same room because the lines there were stupid. We waited on no one up in the front when we went there. So, yeah, hopefully the polo I want is back in stock. And the ears Michelle wants are back in stock when we go here in November, Derek.
Hopefully I saw some shirts that looked pretty cool. Then I'll probably buy something while I'm there. Have to.
Yeah. It is the 50th.
Yeah.
I mean, a magical celebration for 18 months.
18 months, yep. We're going like 5 times. Maybe more.
Maybe more.
Probably more.
Well, you didn't go on fall break.
Yeah, that was big fail on that one.
Calendars are tricky, Derek.
They are. Calendars are hard. I didn't realize this week was fall break until like a week ago. So if I would have known that, I would have booked it next year. We're booking for fall break, that's for sure.
I will say this, October is the new summer. So all you fall breakers, remember that and be ready. Because fall break is busy.
Yeah. No, I can imagine.
I think our time in November is going to be pretty nice.
I'm excited.
You're there during Jersey Week.
Okay.
Which isn't bad. We've done Jersey Week before. It's just you pick up an accent.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah. So like Declan will come back to school with a Jersey accent or something like that.
Out of all my kids, you think Declan will?
No, that's why I picked it.
There you go.
It was more humorous knowing Declan.
There you go. That is all the places that you can go to with very little wait. If you're hopping to the park late at night or you just want to get something done and not have to stand in line or maybe sit, those were our picks. A little fun, unique, different show before Doug and I actually start traveling quite a bit down there. So I want to do something different.
A lot of trip reports coming up. And I will say, before FastPass Plus came around, when it was just FastPass with paper tickets, we would have had a lot more attractions to mention.
Oh, yeah.
We would have talked about Pirates.
Yeah, Pirates is a walk-on after about like 3 o'clock.
Yep, we would have talked about Small World, Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. These sort of places pre-FastPass Plus were all walk-ons. Then when they did FastPass Plus, they realized, people are booking 3 things. We got to have inventory for them to book. So they added all those attractions, kind of the B list, so to speak, and it changed everything.
Kind of wish we could go back to the paper FastPass days just for like a time, like a trip.
Not gonna lie. I think it was the better scenario. I liked it better.
Yeah. One person in the party sprinting. I remember I was like dripping sweat trying to get back to Hollywood Studios is getting back to Toy Story Midway Mania.
Oh my gosh. Before it ran out for the day. That was the rare side of it. The rest of it worked really well.
Because you'd rope drop Rockin' and Holly or in a tower, but one person would have to literally sprint. Oh my gosh. I will never forget those.
Or you rope drop Toy Story and get fast passes so you can ride it twice.
Oh, yeah. Never did that. That's crazy.
I'm crazy.
We did that at Everest.
Yeah?
Yep.
You grab your fast pass, you hop in line, get off.
Yep. Drop the fast pass. Yeah. There we go. All right, we are reminiscing. Right. That might be another show down the road. But if you want to book a trip to Walt Disney World during the 50th celebration for the next 18 months, you're going to have to talk to the rope drop queen herself, Michelle McKnight. Her email is in the show notes. She just booked a trip for me. She is taking Doug down. She's going to be on the show. I know a lot of you guys like listening to her, so she'll be on here in a few weeks. But she is definitely ready to book you all sorts of fun and wonderful vacations up through cruising in 2023.
Yeah, that's Disney through 2023. Like Norwegian and others are even further out.
That's crazy. I can't even think past like, what am I having for lunch tomorrow?
You missed fall break for your children.
I did. I totally forgot where fall break is.
You were more focused on computers.
That's true. I got a new computer ordered. So hopefully this show sounds better in a month when I get it. Maybe. So that is it. That is all the time that we have. Be sure to go on to social media at Rope Drop Radio and enter our contest so you can hopefully win a poster of the 50th. So Doug's got a special gift for you. And be sure to leave a review because we didn't have anything to say, and that's really sad. So someone right now take a second and go to wherever you listen to this, leave a review so we can read on the air next week. But we have to get to the Patreon show. So to get that, you'll have to click that in the show notes as well. But for Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.